Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here at PodiumArcher.com, looking at the 2026 Darton Tritech 35. But before we do that, I want you to go on their website, go to their dealer locator, and find the nearest dealer close to you, and go look at this bow down there. Don't buy it from me. I do not want you to purchase things from me. I want you to go to your local pro shop. You need them, they need you, and at a certain point in life, you're gonna need their help for whether it's a warranty repair, something like that. I love that you're working on your own stuff, guys. That's phenomenal, but you do need to have a relationship with your pro shop. If you're gonna buy it online, and only if you're gonna buy it online, PodiumArcher.com for all those archery needs, $99 and up, is free shipping, and coupon code MFJJ may save you a little bit of money. Now, looks like somebody got creative with a CNC machine, if you ask me, because there's definitely more meat cut out of this baby from last year's. What's different in the 35, you say? Well, one, they drilled a little hole here and put a little thready thingy here for hooking a rope onto, or you can put two of them on and have a sling. Last year they did have a bipod. That does work on this system as well this year. The timing feature got a diet. Looks like it got about half of the metal taken out of it. And it looked like there's some more references etched on it that I did not see the year before, which is also a nice plus. They redesigned the limbs completely and the attachment system for the limb. This, to me, is huge. Makes this bow look quite a bit different, but I think it's going to be way more durable, and the limb got skinnier and thinner as well. The timing or the tuning feature here on the roller guard, this is unique. Yes, there have been some roller guards that move in and out for adjusting the wheeling equally on the top and the bottom. This one's actually threaded. So you can actually gear drive the movement on this system. I haven't seen that before, ever. That's pretty freaking cool. Insertable grip, so you can get different grip angles, and you don't have to put your hand directly against metal. Personally, it doesn't bother me at all, but I understand why people would want a rubber insert or a plastic insert or something where their hand doesn't physically touch the metal when it gets really cold outside. Totally understand the desire and the change for that. Front mount pick, rear mount IMS. Those are the mains. This bow is a tiny bit lighter from last year. It sure looks like it would be a lot lighter, but I think it's only a tiny bit lighter, but we'll measure some of that stuff and see what we get. Changes to the cam system. They did add 1/4 inch increments. There's 2 different let-off options and 3 different modules. There's a standard mod that they still call a speed mod for some stupid reason, a speed mod, and then a speed mod 75%. Those are your 3 different options, and each of them are a different velocity. We have the regular middle speed mod, the speed, I guess they call it. And we're looking for 336 feet a second on this bow. It's got a 35 1/8 inch axle to axle, 6.3, not sure why it's not a fraction, but whatever, 6.3 brace and 4.75 pounds, $1349.95, as is the 31 and the 33 inch bow. They're all the same price right now. 26 inches to 31.5 inches of draw length range. Let's measure some stuff. Looking for 35 1/8 on our ATA. We're going from the left side of the screw to the left side of the screw. And I would say that's about spot on. Yep, give me that. Okay, brace height, we're looking for 6.3. Looks like 6.3 to me. Let's measure our riser length. 34 1/4. Looks like 7/8 of an inch on reflex. That's one thing I really got to commend Darton for, is they're very cognizant of those numbers, and I really appreciate the fact that they're making long riser bows, a little bit of reflex. It makes the frickin' bow shoot better. It just does. There's other characteristics and factors that go into it, but that's like a really big one in my opinion. Long riser, a little bit of reflex. It's a little heavy, but I mean, for how long this riser is, that's really not that bad. Let's check our physical weight. 4.75 pounds, and we're going to give 2/10 for the arrow rest. We're right at 5. That stops moving, it'll be at 5. Yep, I'd say that's right there. 4.8, 4.75. I'll give you that. It's spot on. It's a little shy, I think. Looks to me about 30 1/4 to 30 3/8. I'll call it 30 1/4. I didn't measure the loadout point, so I got to pull it in there and do that again. Let's send some arrows through her. All right, we've got the Tritech 35, 2026 Darton. Looking for 336 feet a second. We're at 70 pounds, 30 inches, and a 350 grain arrow. Yeah, the draw force curve on these things is really pretty smooth. I mean, it's aggressive, but not bad by any means. Like, there's ones that definitely feel a lot worse that shoot similar speed. And, 333, 332. It's within a couple of feet. It's an impressive speed for a 35-inch axle-to-axle bow with over a 6-inch brace height. So 333 again, average. One more here. Yeah, that grip feels almost exactly the same as last year's. So putting an insert in there didn't change really how it feels, which is great because I really liked how the grip felt last year. 334, 333. All right, so we got a 333 average on the 350s. Let's try some 450s. Now, I know some of you watching this video may, be excited about a new product, but also really can't afford a new bow. So that's part of why I created a national used bow program, trade-in program. Certified used bows, brand new gas strings on them. Anything on our website that shows used bows will be gone through, inspected, made sure they're perfectly safe to use, and replace the strings on them. We also have a trade-in program for you if you want to be able to get rid of your old bow. It's another option we got, both on the website. So something to think about. And for you other shops out there, be aware that we do have a dealer program where you can purchase from us, just like any other distributor, at a discount. And we can trade in your old stock as a used bow too, if you got to get rid of it. 290, 294, so a 292 average. 294, 294, so up to 293. One more. This bow does feel very dead in the hand. Very smooth in that regard. 94. 22. We'll give her a 293 average on the 450s, and we'll go to some 650s. There you go. All right, let's shoot some 650s. I think it was 3 to be honest, but 1 foot's not going to make or break it. Ooh, that's a weird one on the Garmin, which I get periodically, so it's probably more like the 243, but let's see what this next one shows us. If we get some weird numbers on the next two, we'll reshoot them all and check it again. 243 and 257. Weird. 247, 248. All right. 247, and we'll shoot one more here. For the adult arrows, your 650 grainers. For all you Ranch Fairy fans out there. 242, 251. We'll go with a 247 average. I'll go ahead and set this at 29 inches, and then we'll shoot it again. All right, we're now set at 29 inches, so we can get an inch-by-inch comparison on speed difference with a 450 grain arrow at 70 pounds. And then we're going to do this with a 65-pound setup, and I'll explain why in a minute. $281, $286, so that's an average of 283, or 284. The reason we're going to test this at 65 pounds, 29 inches, and a 450 grain arrow is because that's the realistic arrow speed. It's the average configuration of the average person. And that's really what I would like brands to advertise going forward, or at least publish it on their bow somewhere so the average Joe Blow can see a number he can compare bow to bow to bow that he can actually probably get. $24, $29, so 285, Jeff, so we're going to want to hang on to there for the second combination. Between the other ones and that one. We'll see what's left here. I'm starting to get a pretty good difference between these two for some reason. I might need to plug the Garmin in. 286, 285. So 285 average for that. And then we need to do some noise. What was that? 285. All right, so now we are with the realistic arrow speed. 65 pounds, 29 inches, 450 grain arrow, the average guy's arrow. Please start putting this on your product. brands if you're listening. $278. 276. So 277 average there. One more. 277, 276. So 277 average. Now let's get some noise testing for you. Go grab one more real quick.
82.
All right, so 81, 81 and a half, and 82. All right, so that's an 81 and a half average. Let's go put this in the Torque-O-Matic 5000, and then we'll do some math for you. My audio still working?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Torque-O-Matic 5000. Let's see what we get here. Oh, geez. 5 pounds, 13 ounces.
That is the heaviest one.
That is the highest one I've seen. My dad's your 35-inch, 6 and 3. £5 pounds, 13 ounces. Bet you're wishing this was a category now, huh? Like, damn it! Wow, that's wild. You can totally feel such a difference. 5 pounds, 7 ounces. To give you about 5 pounds, 11 for the average of the 3. That's the highest number we've ever seen. What do we come up with here? Well, we got a decibel rating of 81.5, which this year kind of looks like it's kind of be right in the middle. So for sound, we're going to give you a 3 there. Your variance in speed was 9 feet slower from 30 inches to 29 inches. So subtract 9 feet per inch when you're trying to figure out what this bow should shoot at your draw length. And our realistic arrow speed was 277. The Torque-O-Matic 5000 gave us a 5 pound, 13 ounce measurement. It's the highest number we've had, and the higher number is harder to torque. That's a good thing. So let's fill some of this out and see what we got here. Speed-wise, we were 333. That's going to put you at 11 for speed. Weight was 4.75. That's going to put you at a 4. Tunability. Well, once again, there's a reason I don't put a 15 down, and it's because somebody comes up with another feature that it also improves your tuning and makes it a little easier like they did this year. So I kind of really want to give them a 15. So tunability was a 14. Integrations and features, everything but a V-bar bracket integration. Once again, I'm not going to give you a full number, period, because that's nowhere to go in the future, but I got to give you an 8 for that. Honesty. So speed within 3 feet. Axle to axle was spot on. Brace height was spot on. Weight was spot on. Draw length's a 1/4 inch long. I'm seeing an 1/8 consistently across the board, give or take. So I don't want to mark you down too much for that. So honesty, I kind of want to give you like a 13 or 13. Is that what was on there? Yeah, I was going to say. I'm going to give you a 13. Feel. The bow feels incredibly good. It is a stiff cam, but it's not a ridiculously stiff cam. There's no part of it where you're pulling it back where you're like, oh my God, that part was hard. That part was hard. The grip's great. The vibration's next to nil. I'd give you a 9. Design. There's a ton of machine work into here, ton of cuts, all the integration added. I mean, there's so much going on here. I love what you did with the limb system and changing out the attachment system because that should be a much more durable system over time. Plus, it looks cool as shit, just going to be honest. It's a really good look. I'll give you a 9. Value. $13.49 is getting really close to everybody else in the price point, right? Which I understand you got more work going on here. There's more machine cuts. There's more integration and features, etc. Justifyingly, but you're not drastically cheaper than anybody else. So I'm going to give you a 3 on value. Sound, we already determined was a 3 with an 81.5 decibel, which is like right in the middle of the average. And then appeal. There's a lot of really cool things going on with Darton. They're really focusing on making something that you can really work on yourself, which I love to see. I love to see the improvements. I love to see more meat taken out of it. There's got to be a way to squeeze another ounce or 2 out of this old girl. You know, give her a freaking Ozempic or something. I don't know. Get a little more weight out of there. But in general, all in all, I really like the bows. They're very appealing. Let's give you a 4, and let's see what we get. 15, 29, 37, 50, 68, 69, 70, 71, 74, 78. That's a pretty amazing number. I'm glad to see the improvements and the changes. Keep working in that direction. Like in both of my stores, Darton was our third best seller, which really shocked me, but they're growing. You probably ought to pay attention. If you didn't test fire one before you picked out your bow, you're probably selling yourself a little short. Make sure to give them a check. Comment down below on all the things that you see here and how stupid I am and how much of a moron I am and I don't know what I'm doing and all that stuff. That's all great and fun. I believe in your ability and right to speak out against what you think freely, so I will leave your negative comments in there. I always do.